Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're going to be casting this game between Petin for our Petin for game here in the blue at 1052 versus Billy Break here in the red at 562. Now, I'm not sure if this is the actual Billy Break. I mean, that number is a little bit low, but I mean, the stats did get reset not too long ago, so I'm not sure if anyone actually knows the actual account name of Billy Break. Let me know in the comment section below, because I would like to cast those games, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would like to see those as well. So it looks like we're seeing two, so far looking like an anti-meta deck. Anything that's running Beast King generally will run skill drains, so, I'm sure that's why our player in the blue didn't attack. He doesn't want to attack his Thunder King and then end up having to lose it due to a skill drain on the field. But that's what's one great thing about Beast King. Your opponent is always afraid that skill drain is just going to come out, and that is something to take into consideration when you're playing those decks. Because if you don't want your opponent to know that you're running skill drain, maybe you don't need to summon Beast King quite yet. But it does put that factor in where, they might not want to activate some stuff. Oh, and double Thunder King comes out. So I'm sure now with double Thunder King, he'll probably want to just attack because, I mean, I guess you can XYZ for Acid Golem, but let's see if we see a skill drain come out. I mean, this isn't going to be a plus for either one of the players. Oh, and a Dimensional Prison out. So that basically reveals that there is no skill drain on the field. However, keeping Thunder King on the field is still great. I mean, now he can point for point, and they both just 1-for-1 all those cards right there. So no pluses for either player. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure keeping Thunder King would be a great thing. But if you're playing against an anti-meta deck, I'd say that it's no big deal to lose a Thunder King. But generally, you do want to keep Thunder King on the field. But I mean, he did summon Thunder King that turn, so he's just going to, I mean, he can't summon anymore. Unless he's going to, activate Monster Reborn. And in that case, that'd be a very good idea, because, any deck that's running Beast King, usually they don't have very many answers to Beast King except for Beast King. And he's viewing his graveyard. Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that. And that actually might cost our player in the blue game. I mean, sure, Thunder King stops a lot of things, but what is he going to stop in anti-meta? Maybe, Duality? I'd say... it does stop Duality. I definitely would have reborn the Beast King, and the reason is because if you're playing against anti-meta, again, any deck that's running Beast King, if you get out there Beast King, they are in some type of trouble, usually, I'd say. I mean, if that is a face-down Sangan, which I don't think it is, then our player would have made the better play. Ooh! And an Honest comes out, so no damage, because both are at 1900. And, Honest, that's strange that Honest's defense is 1900, because that is quite high for a monster that has an amazing effect also. But Honest is just one of those cards where it's just great in every aspect. And let's see if he resets Honest. I mean, he could reset something else, and then, I mean, I'd still attack with Thunder King. Oh, he's going to activate Skill Drain first, okay. Interesting. Okay, so he probably didn't have that when Beast King was out there. So he's going to activate Skill Drain. He says that's okay. And, ooh, an E-Collar here. So we're seeing an E-Hero beat here. Using the Skill Drain in the main deck, which is quite good because, I mean, it does stop a lot of different things. But Thunder King does stop E-Heroes, I'd say, pretty darn well. Because, it stops all the E-Calls, all the Reinforcement of the Army. It stops the Stratos. So it does kind of hinder the player a little bit. But, I mean, crashing the Alias here is going to be pretty good. As long as he doesn't get D-Prison, he'll be pretty good to go, I'd say. Just because, there's cards like Hero Blast, which allow the player in the red to, maintain field advantage and be able to get essentially a +1, because Hero Blast is a +1. In most cases, that is. I mean, you don't have to destroy. Oh, so he's waiting for Damage Step. I don't know if dropping Honest would be the best solution. Unless maybe, Alias is the only monster he has, and he definitely needs this play to go off. Because, Honest still has 1900 defense. Okay, so he says okay to the damage step, and an Honest is dropped. And, yeah, so he will be victorious there. I don't know if that was worth it, though. I still felt like that Beast King would have been better. Not just so, not for the extra damage that Beast King does. It's just to prevent your opponent from really doing anything. But, I guess if you're playing against heroes, Beast King is still relatively good. But Thunder King, definitely great. So I think our player in the blue, this might be game 2. I just joined this game. But there are some E-Hero decks that do main deck skill drain, so keep that in mind. Because skill drain really only hurts Stratos. That's really the only card that has an effect. I mean, sure, you don't get the boost with Shining, but usually Shining is relatively strong anyways, and yeah, so just gonna set one. I have no idea what our player in the blue is playing. Definitely meta, though. I mean, anything with Thunder King is definitely something meta. Or it could be like anti-meta. But anti-meta has been too popular, really. I thought anti-meta would have been really popular since Duality did get the reprint. So at the moment, yeah, he's just going to attack the face down. Let's see what it is. Ooh, a Arcana Force the Fool. And unfortunately, since skill drain's on the field, and I don't think someone would side deck Arcana Force the Fool against an E-Hero player. But, you know, it could be a main deck choice just because Arcana Force the Fool is a great card to actually use against Dino Rabbit. There's also Spirit Reaper is also great, but they do run Forbidden Lands. But yeah, definitely a decent card. I'd say Galen Duel is a little bit better, just because it does have the attack factor in. Yeah, so he's going to go add MST. Let's see if he activates or just sets it, because if he does set it, he risks the chance of our player in the red just being able to just go, okay, Gemini Spark that. Okay. Interesting. So he's just saving the MST rather than activating on skill drain immediately. So that pretty much reveals that the he wants to wait for it. I'm not sure why exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if the player already has a skill drain in their hand, they could just set it anyways, and then yeah, let's find out what that card is. That's face down. Ooh, it's an Effect Bailer, which basically hits Stratos, and that's really about it. And Stratos was not hit, so I mean, our plan in the red could have went for E-Call for Stratos, but he flipped up skill drain so he can activate the E-Call. And so, I mean, I think that was a good play. I mean, he waited for a card he could use before just activating MSC, which is okay. I don't mean, you know, there's nothing bad about that unless, you know, there's certain aspects that you need to take into consideration, depending on like what your opponent is playing also. Because when you're playing against E-Heroes, it's not like you have to worry about them exploding on you with some type of skill effect. But I mean, I guess in the off chance that he drew Stratos, you know, he's just making him wait for Stratos. So he's checking out his graveyard. I mean, he can Exceed and make a Leviair, and then go for Thunder King if he wishes. I don't know if that'll be the best option then. Okay, so looks like he's going to go for that though. But Piper Chaos did top, so I mean, a lot of people will be trying to run the deck. Okay, so he's going to go and get Thunder King. I guess he could just crash the Thunder King. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he was thinking about doing. It's not that bad though. I mean, it is technically still plus. I mean, he gets it smacked for 18 for free. And a Gemini Spark comes out. Let's see what he ends up hitting. And a Forbidden Lance comes out. And he can now just Lance. I mean, technically he didn't select the target yet. So he could have selected the back row. And that is one thing you need to take into consideration. Maybe he already did target, we just can't see it. But he does not get to draw though, because the effect has to resolve and destroy in order for you to draw the card. And I'm positive on that because I was watching some matches towards the end at YCS Long Beach, and yeah. So keep that in mind if someone does lance you. It is kind of unfortunate because Gemini Spark must resolve and be able to destroy the target before you get the draw. So lance is just overall really solid. Yeah. And I feel like it's great against E-Heroes because, you know, Hero Blast obviously being there, especially when you're playing Insectors. Cyber Dragon is special summon, and Thunder King is going to say no to that, which is good. And a Stratos comes out, and a Forbidden Chalice. I don't know if that's exactly worth it because now he loses the Leviair. I don't know, because I mean, technically he would. It's a neutral either way because had he let him add with Stratos, the guy would be at +1, and so Chalice did see some play at YCS also. Just because it does work during the damage step because it does change the attack, and that is the main reason why people were using it, especially in Dino Rabbit. People were citing those, and we see Avarice come out, so interesting choice. I guess Piper Chaos can play Avarice. I was thinking that they would want to usually just have the Lights and Darks to remove for the Chaos Sorcerers, but I mean Avarice is quite a good card, especially when you're running tour guides and that kind of stuff. So let's see if you can draw into something that can fix this. Because the thing when you're playing against E-Heroes, they can really just top deck Miracle Fusion at any time and, kind of just get some stuff on the field, and it's not like they have a cost for anything. And he's going to summon a Kinkabio, so... ooh, we see a skill drain, and that's kind of unfortunate because it is a spirit, so... Oh, and MSC is chained to it, so he still will be getting the effect. So quite good there, and that's the thing with skill drain. You do have to pay that 1,000 life, and since he's activated 2 skill drain, that's already 2,000. That's basically like a Solemn Warning. And if you are playing Solemn Warnings, then you could be kind of low in life there. So he's activated the effective Kinka, and so he's gonna remove a light and a dark, and special some Chaos Sorcery, and I don't know. I mean, I might just actually remove it. Just because, E-Heroes do play Mirror Force, and you don't want to lose a Kinkabio. Okay, so he's going to Torrential Tribute as well. Okay, so that's not that bad. I mean, there's really pluses for anyone, I'd say, because he did get the plus off of Kinka anyways. So our players are both at same advantage as far as card. Ooh, Evocator Chevalier, or a Torrential. Maybe, the thing is, when you're putting Torrentials like some card like this, and they have decent amount of life, it shows that they don't have an answer to it at the moment. Maybe he's gonna top deck a card that he can play, but yeah, I mean Chevalier. I mean it's a 1900. It is Gemini though. Mystic Piper, and he says okay. So going with Dark Hole, so he gets to add Dark Hole to his hand, which is a great card. Ooh, and a Pot of Duality comes out. So let's see what he's gonna do out into Tragodia, one of my favorite cards. Although I don't play it in the Injectors, I do side one though. Sometimes just works well. Okay, Gores, so most likely he's not going to do anything to his field, he's just going to leave it empty. Yeah, but there's a lot of great stuff that is removed now that he can get back. That's the thing with Chaos, usually you want to remove like Thunder King so you can get it back, because E-Heroes, obviously, they're not going to somehow get your cards that are removed back. But our player in the red does know that he has Gores, and so he's probably going to try to play around it, or wait for him to be able to get out like an Absolute Zero, which would be a great card, I think. It's a great card just because, it's such a good card against Injectors. Really, because, like, what are Injectors going to do? Yeah, so he's going to Allure, so let's see what he ends up removing. And the thing with Allure with that deck is it's not really minus because you have Dimensional Alchemist, if you are running that build. Ooh, he's in a Heavy Storm. So he's definitely got something. Ooh, and another Torrential Tribute was hit. But it definitely does reveal that, if you're going to Heavy for one, you usually have some type of play. So he's going with Chaos Sorcerer and get in the 2300 attack. And just probably end it right there. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I think our player in the blue definitely does have more field control right now, just because he also has the Gore in his hand. Pretty much our player in the red is going to need a Miracle Fusion to be able to come out of this, I'd say. He just need to go for Ab-Zero, and that will put him a little bit back into the game. He also could go for Shining, but I'm not sure how good Shining is against like Chaos, where they can just remove stuff. And we see a Dark Hole come out. Okay. And he's going to set one. I mean, he could have a monster, but he just... Actually, I'm pretty sure if he had a monster, he'd probably summon it. But, yeah, our player in the blue does have Gores. Oh, Solemn Warning, which he can't use. Another Solemn Warning, which he can't use. And a Hero Blast. My guess is he will add the Hero Blast. Just because, obviously, he could not use those Solemn Warnings. But that is the thing with Solemn Warning, is sometimes after you play the life... Like, again, remember how he paid 2,000 for those 2 skill drains? Had he not used that, he could have added the warning and then stopped the Gores, and perhaps sealed victory from that. So let's see what happens. So we see a Light and a Dark removed once again. And the thing is, since our player in the blue did activate Heavy Storm, our player in the red can just set as much as he wants. He doesn't have to worry about anything. Hero Blast is not going to work on a Blackluster Soldier, because Blackluster is way too strong. Oh, and that is a game. Yeah, I mean... I think our players both played pretty well. Yeah, I don't think there was quite too many misplays. Maybe the Chalice was kind of questionable, but I mean, since our player in the blue did take the victory, can't really argue that that was the thing that could have made him win. But I don't know, because I felt like adding Alias wouldn't have been that bad. Because if he would have point for pointed later on, he could have banished something and got it back with Leviair, because he still had one attachment with Leviair, and Leviair is just so good in Chaos, and I felt like if he could have recycled maybe like a Thunder King on top of that, he would have been good to go. I mean, Alias doesn't really do much other than, you know, there's Hero Blast, Gemini Spark, depending on what kind of E-Hero deck you're playing. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.